What's going on, guys? Sean here, back for another video. Today, boys and girls, I want to talk about my 1980s hairband road band experience. Now, I grew up in South Florida, Palm Beach County, and in the 80s was a great place to grow up. And we had a big circuit around Florida, because Florida's a big state. And there was a lot of, back then, there was a lot of big rock clubs with the big hair, like, you know, Warrant, and Poison, and Motley Crue, and Whitesnake, and Dawkins, and Rat, and Van Halen, and Black Sabbath, and Ozzy, and, you know, all those bands were popular. They were all over the radio, as well as Howard Jones, and Thompson Twins, and U2, and a lot of other, the music was great. And there was a big circuit to play these rock clubs where people would go, because there was no internet, and there was no smartphones and stuff back then. Hang out, drink, meet each other, blah, blah, blah. And so I had been playing, I knew Mickey and Troy. I did a video about my buddy Mickey. And I'd been jamming with them a little bit for a few years, since I was like 15 years old. But I was primarily a singer-songwriter, an original musician, so I had been jamming in my own original band, getting stuff together, learning tunes, or working on tunes, and make an album, just, you know, going that route, trying to set up original shows and stuff. These guys, this dude John Tolliver took Mickey and Troy out on the road when they were, I think, 19, 20, and Mickey had been in another band called No Romance. They, you know, they're friends of mine, so they approached me when I was 17 to start their own band and to sing for them. And Mick was like, "Oh, don't worry about it, you're 17, we'll just say you're 21, nobody really cares." It's like a wink-wink situation. So I thought it would be a good idea to kind of get some experience on the road, so I kind of said yes. And we worked for a few months in studio, like every day, because back then you had to be really, really well rehearsed, and an agent had to come see you play before they would take you on and book you in the circuit. There was an A circuit, there was a B circuit, there were A clubs that all the top bands played in, and there were B clubs that were just, you know, where you started out and you worked your way up, you know. So worked our butts off. I learned all this Dawkins, a Whitesnake, and I was singing, you know, "I'm gonna slide in here right to the top," and I was singing, you know, "Breaking the chains around you," you know, Dawkins, and "Lay it down," Rat, Motley Crue. It was a really cool list. We had some U2 on the list. We did NXS, stuff that was on the radio. It wasn't just hairband stuff. It was a pretty eclectic list, and we learned it, and the agent liked us, and he was a little dubious of me, because it was obvious I was young. I didn't have any of this facial hair and stuff. So he gave us a chance. When we started playing, and kind of like the B circuit type places, and we got a reputation for it was one of the tightest, best bands I was to this day was ever in, because we put so much work in it. Got to the point where I tell everybody in these videos that you should be, to where everything was second nature. Every note we sang, every harmony, the guitar players worked out their own. There was two guitar players, Troy and Bob. They worked out their own harmony leads, and we were tight as hell. The weakest link in the band was me. I was 17 years old. It was obvious. My voice hadn't completely matured yet. I didn't know how to sing correctly. I was hitting high notes doing this, straining my voice, and but you know, we pulled it off. We played the circuit, we played all these bars up around the South Florida, a lot of them. And we did Key West. We could never break into the top ones, the top tier bars, because we just weren't good enough. Actually, it was my fault. So, I mean, we're talking about every rock star, crazy cliche you could think of. We had band houses when we'd go out of town, and the boys would bring back these girls, they'd come back to the band house, and craziness ensued. There were girls dancing on tables, you know, stuff I can't say on YouTube. Now, I was never really, I never really did drugs, but back then I did drink a bit, and I started to get pretty crazy. You know, I was crazy. They called me Crazy Sean, and Mick, the drummer, my buddy, used to call me Johnny Rotten, because I get on stage and just start screaming and going crazy. I'd swigging beers down, and I whip them across the bar, and they smash on the wall on the other side of the bar. I got fired from one bar, completely fired, but the band was allowed to keep playing, and they tried to gig for like 1 or 2 nights with the sound man singing, and they allowed me to come back in, but I wasn't allowed to like say anything bad. It was crazy, dude. I mean, like, we went down to Key West. I had my 18th birthday at Key West. I have the picture somewhere. They all hit me with whipped cream on stage. Basically, what it came down to, and we found this out later on, was Bob Rainey was fucking us over and saying we were getting a lot less money and then pocketing the money. I didn't know any better. I was literally 17 years old, and I would play 6 sets, 5 or 6 sets, 6 nights a week. No, sometimes 7 nights a week. I think we had 1 night off. And he would hand me like $50 because we had to pay the production, which was sound and lights, $1,200 a week, blah, blah, blah. I'm playing for like $8 a night, right? It's ridiculous, dude. And I had just enough money to buy like a loaf of bread and peanut butter and jelly, and then I would just find girls in the crowd, and they would take me out to Denny's after the gig, and they would feed me. And, I mean, those cliches are true. We were so broke, the girls literally would buy me my boots, take me to the store. You just had to be, you know, nice and hang out with them while you were playing their bar for a week or so, and they would let you sleep at their house, and buy you clothes, and I'll feed you. That was really the only way that I ate. It was insane. And the last gig we played at Dirty Harry's in Key West, I was cursing on the mic in full Axl Rose mode so much. And this is the 80s. I was cursing and gallivanting around so much. The bar was fining us, and they were tacking fines on. I don't know how the fuck they got away with this, but they fined me from cursing. And so we lost like, I don't know, $500 or $600 for me cursing on the stage. Like, I don't even know what they were fining us. I don't really know. Maybe that was a lie. Maybe that was, again, maybe that was Bob screwing us over. Bob, if you're still alive and you see this video, fuck you, dude. Seriously, nobody liked you. Nobody liked you then. I'm sure nobody likes you now. Fuck that guy. Fuck you for fucking me over, by the way. But anyway, that was Dirty Harry's in Key West. And the whole thing culminated, there was a lot of Coca-Cola, going on. And not me. I was just drinking and hanging out with girls, basically, and jumping around on stage, diving into the crowd, and just being crazy. And after that is when I sang my voice completely out and came off the road. And that was the only time I ever saw my dearly departed buddy and brother Mickey ever get mad. He got so upset because the road thing was his, and he was snorting a lot of things at the time, drinking a lot, and he was up in a room with a girl, and I came over there to talk to him, and he threw my boombox from like the 2nd story down and smashed it in the parking lot. He profusely, that was not him, he profusely apologized to me after that for years later. We laughed about it and stuff and thought it was funny. It's the only time I ever saw him upset. Anyway, so that was Dirty Harry's in Key West. That place is still there. What a shit show that gig was. What a crazy thing it was. I called the band house in Key West the tuberculosis hut because everybody was sick in that band house. I'm thinking maybe it was mold. I don't know. Back then, everybody got sick. I got sick, and I just kept singing, and we were down there for 6 weeks, I think, and sang my voice out to the point where nothing came out, nothing. And I just unplugged the mic and was dancing around on stage, jumping in the crowd. We had the sound man up in the booth, which was up these stairs, and he was singing, just mixed a lot of reverb in and mixed the voice low, and my buddy Spearin was up there singing stuff. You know, they had a harmonizer on it, on the voice. It was farcical. And After that gig, number one, I had no voice left. Number two, some tensions, namely with the one member of the band that was the oldest, and he was kind of handling the business end of it. You know, he was always nervous about the fact that I was crazy, basically, and jumping around and doing fun stuff. You coming out? I'll come around. Anyway, you know, tensions had reached a crescendo, essentially. Tensions had essentially reached a crescendo, and it was time for me to go. I had no voice anyway. I needed to go home, and I needed to take vocal lessons badly. Let my voice heal, which took 6 months, by the way. But what an experience it was. I ended up going home. The band ended up reforming with another singer who was older and was more mature and better, and they ended up getting into all those A clubs and stuff. And they went on for about another year until they finally broke up. But I mean, I shudder to even tell the stories on YouTube because it was so crazy and debaucherous. You know, there was white substances being snorted through straws off snare drums. There was a sound man in Key West shooting a .22 pistol through the ceiling between Troy and I when we were up there with girls. I mean, it was crazy. It was nuts. But it laid the foundation for my performance career, and I never, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. It was fun. I came home. I went up to New York City after my vocal lessons and my voice healed. I wanted to check that scene out. Ended up joining the military up there, coming back to Florida, putting some more semesters into college, and then I went to the Army, and I came back. This was '88. I came back in late 1990, and it was all different. I started playing solo acoustic, duo acoustic, and I got into a band that year when I was still 20 years old. But you know, I think that 80s Hairband experience, that year I did on the road, was very instructive. It really, it was good and bad, because I was on a track of originals, writing originals. I probably would have moved to LA or a place like that or somewhere. And I mean, I was making albums and stuff, and this kind of, I didn't really get into the original thing. I didn't make my first original album until it was like 93 or 94 at that point, because I was delayed from the military. I was delayed from going on the road. So I don't know. It definitely diverged my track, you know, that I was on. I knew that was going to be a temporary thing. I never really thought of myself as a cover musician. I liked getting the experience on stage as a lead singer and in front of crowds, playing hundreds of shows and stuff under lights, big PAs and stuff, and learning how to operate in that environment. But by the same token, it may have diverted me off the path that I should have been on, which was the original path. Again, when I got out of the band, I ended up going to Jersey and New York City. I was trying to check out that scene up there, only for original stuff. Just because Skid Row had come out of there, and a lot of, you know, Bon Jovi, a lot of bands had come out of that scene. And I wanted to check that scene out, which I didn't like, by the way. I think by the time I got up there, like 89, 88, I think it was 89. I don't know, it was just starting to wane. But, you know, it's funny how life can take you in different directions. There could be one, I mean, I guess every day there's a pivotal moment that you have decisions to make, and one decision will take you on one path, another decision will take you on another path. So interesting timelines. But yeah, we're getting ready to take off out of here in about 12 days. Heading up to North Dakota. We're going to work the sugar beet harvest for from about the 9th of September till about the 20th, 21st or so, roughly, of October. And I think we're going to take a little trip out west and see what's going on after that. I'll keep everybody posted. We're taking everything with us this time. My wife's following in the truck. That little car that was so noisy is gone. I sold it. So no more door dashing or Uber Eatsing for me, because you can't make any money in a big F-150 pickup truck. So that's what I'm in now. I'll keep you guys posted, but I think we're going to head over to northern Idaho and check that out for the winter. The bus is well heated and well insulated, so it's not a problem. And it's surprisingly mild there compared to like Montana or other places because of the valley and because of the way the air flows from the Pacific and stuff. Anyway, I'll keep you guys posted, but let me know if you guys ever if you guys were gigging in the 80s and had similar experiences. I'd love to hear you guys' comments on that. So talk to you soon. Bye.